on? 7:30, and we're on the Blue Society Educational Series tonight. They gave me a call a couple of weeks ago and asked if I would do this, and seems to be a fun thing, so we're going to do that. I want to start out with thanking a few really great people that helped us over the years with stuff, and I want to start with Epi over at my father's place, and the great impresario himself, and I love him very much, and he's done so much with the band, and we're going to be doing some more stuff there coming up, and I hope that you all kind of hang out with us. I might even do I was going to have a birthday there last year. Obviously, the COVID thing killed it. It was my 60th birthday last August, so I'm hoping that maybe down the line somewhere, I don't know if it's going to be in the summertime, but it will be. We're going to do that same extravaganza with all my great compadres and all my great friends and musicians that I know all through the years, which is great. Mr. Steve Beery, I want to thank you too, Steve. And I know Steve's having a hard time right now. What's going on out there? I hope you're out there listening. Another great impresario of a lot of bands. He lets people in that that maybe haven't really proved themselves yet in a lot of ways, but he lets them come in and show their stuff, and we need more of those people like that, and I love you for that, Steve, so much. Eric over at Barbecue, Eric Rifkin, another really dear friend of mine. I remember when he first opened, he heard a lot about us, which I'm really happy about, and we went over there and he had us play, and we played there ever since, and it was always a really great time, and I love him very much for that. And I hope that he's doing well too, and that's really great. But Josh over at Treme. Treme has really come up to be the premier jazz and blues club out there, and I really, it's the greatest. And Josh is great. I know he's not opening right now. I know he's having a hard time with that too. And I, hope that he'll get his help, and I'll get his help soon, hopefully. And that'll be great. But there are so many, I don't want to leave anybody out, but there's so many people. I mean, Norm Peruslin, my friend Norm, he was there from the beginning with us, helped us all through the times with radio and stuff like that, and our latest 2 albums have done really well. Our latest 2 CDs, which is really doing really good. So he had a lot to do with that, with stuff, and just he's an all around just great person. He just turned 70. Doesn't look a day over 69, but I told him that one. I don't know if he laughed at it or not, but I tell him. Mr. Jim Faith. Jim is the man with the Great South Bay and then some, and then beyond, and it's unbelievable. And I'm really thankful that I met Jim over the years ago, and he's just a really great, another great impresario of music. Always a lot of ideas of things that are going on. We need those idea people, and the idea people are the best. That's the best thing in the world. Is when you have somebody with a vision, and he has a vision, and it's great. And there's so many of us out there. And the Long Island Blues Society, thank you. Mwah. I've been with you guys since I don't know from the inception of it, but I've been with you guys for about 25 years. Through a lot of different ups and downs and peaks and valleys, whatever you want to call it. And I know now they're at a really great place, and I love them very much for that. And they have me here, so that's why I'm here with you guys. And this is great. I know there's some questions coming on. I will answer some questions in a little while. And what's great is they asked me to talk about a lot about my history and stuff like that, a lot about things I've done, influences, guitar players I like, musicians I love. I have a little bit of an allergy right now, so that's what I'm up to. But anyway, so a lot of stuff too. A lot of CDs that used to be vinyl in my first, upbringing of music. I'm going to be showing you some of that stuff too. A lot of slides, really great slides that I have in my arsenal. I have a big slide collection, which is kind of cool. I have a lot of that stuff too. So, but I want to get to that, and I'll get to that in a second. Peter Hansen, thank you very much. I'm on. Thank you for getting me on this. It's great. We're hanging out. That'll be good. Judy, thank you, Judy. Say hello to everybody. Bill Clark, thank you, Bill. See you guys right there too. This is really great. You're all kind of hanging out, so I'll be talking to everybody too at the same time as doing this little thing here. Anyway, so let's get to some music. Let's get to some stuff. Influences back then, blues stuff, rock stuff, the things that made me come in, when I was very young. My dad was very influential. He was very into tinkering stuff, and he had a beautiful Macintosh receiver, a few audio files out there. Now you know what that is. It was a tube receiver back then. Very expensive today if you can find one. Really, really amazing. But he turned us on to a lot of stuff and gave us the world to use it. My brothers are a little older than I am, and they turned me on to stuff. I was born in 1960, so I was a child of the 60s pretty much, a little kid. But I got to see all the great, and hear all the great stuff, all the fantastic music at the time, you know, between the Beatles and great blues stuff, great folk stuff, everything, Beach Boys. My brothers were into everything. I mean, doo-wop. I mean, everything that came through was amazing. It really was. I'm gonna start pulling out some CDs and showing you some stuff that's pretty cool. Here's one right here. You can see it. This is Johnny Winter End. One of the greatest live albums ever. And it was one of those albums that I put on and I literally just wore it to death. It was one of those things that I turned on and I just played and played and played until I couldn't, you know, and my fingers would bleed trying to, you know, get all the riffs down and stuff like that. And to this day, it's just a really, really, really great CD. If you never listened to it, you never had it, it's a really, really great live Johnny Winter. And I know we miss him very much. He passed away a few years ago, like that. One of the first and unbelievable CDs of all time that it really turned me on to a lot of stuff was the Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton. The Beano record, actually. I have a Beano magazine from 1968, but this is 1966. And this like put the whole thing on the map. The Les Paul through the Marshall. He had a smaller Marshall he played. But he played live. They went in one afternoon, banged this out, and it's one of the most influential CDs that you could ever hear of blues rock that ever came through, that influenced everybody from the Allman Brothers to everyone who listened to this album. And this is before Cream too, by the way. This is when Eric really had it going. All Eric Clapton had to do was do one CD, and this is it, one album, and he still would have been as famous as he is today. It's amazing how much he influenced everyone. And here in America, it was our American counterpart of him, and that's Mr. Michael Bloomfield. This album right here, this was an original album. It was a different album cover actually, but this is another live. These are like outtakes of that CD itself, and this one also is one of those ones that are just like amazing. It's really, really great, and he's just like a guy who plugs right into an amplifier, no nonsense, no bull, and with the Les Paul, same thing, and he had that kind of tone going like that, and it's till this day I listen to this, and this is really just, it amazes me still. It's still pretty big, jaw-dropping, really good. And a lot of guitar players know about this. This is really amazing, great stuff. One album, if you're playing guitar, if you're learning, and you want to jam with something, 11-minute songs right here, is the Allman Brothers. Live with Phil Maurice. You can't get any better than that. At their pinnacle, literally, you know what I mean? You know, Eat a Peach also, great studio album with some live stuff. But this album, though, is like one of those ones you just put on and you just sit there and you play along with it the whole time. Just in you know, mesmerizing tones. You know, Dwayne with the Les Paul. You can't go. It's just amazing. You know, the SG, the Gibson, great tone of what he's playing. And getting to this really, really quick, I want to show you something really fast. Is that I have a big slide collection, huge slide collection, and Dwayne used a Chlorocidin bottle, the medicine bottle, and what he did was he emptied out all the stuff in it, whatever, the medicine, unless he took it, who knows. But this is one right here. This is actually an original one. I got this a long, long time ago. I remember when I bought this with the medicine in it, obviously, it was $5, okay? And my brother said to me, he goes, why don't you just go get a glass slide? It's $2. But you know something? All these years later, this is like 45 years ago I bought this. All these years later, this is a very, very expensive little piece of glass. It's amazing. I always have horror stories and weird nightmares of me dropping it on something. So I never really take it anywhere. But I'll play it like on a recording or something. It's pretty cool. I have two of those, which I love, which is really, really great. If you're familiar with our music, there's a Blow Your House Down album we have, one of the first ones that we did. And there's also Memphis High. And Memphis High, I used this is a slide I used. It's a piece of brass. It's a brass pipe. A good friend of mine, Rob, who passed away a few years ago, a good dear friend, he was a pipe fitter guy. And he had an old machine shop, and he cut a little piece of me like this. And this is on those tunes, actually, from the first times I was playing on stuff like that, which is pretty cool. That's interesting. For a long time when I first started playing out, a lot with my dobro. I have a black dobro. I played the black mudslide. It's right here. It's one from Dunlop. It's actually it's porcelain. It's a porcelain slide. They say what's the difference between porcelain and ceramic? About $100, they say, or a vase or a vase, about $100. That's the same thing with this. It's a piece of like ceramic porcelain. Really, really kind of cool. It's got a really, really nice mellow tone to it too when you're sliding. Really interesting stuff. A lot of stuff. A very good friend of mine gave me a gift once. We were over in Mandolin Brothers, which is closed. It's a really, really great guitar store. And she had picked me up this beautiful Numwell slide. It's all numbered. It's kind of a cool hand-blown slide with like little happy faces on it. And that's got a great, great sound too. It's got a really... by the way, all these slides are very heavy. They might not look it like when you're looking at them, but they have a very heavy feel to them, which has a nice... When you put it on a guitar, when you're playing on it, it has a really, really great feel in it. A really great sustain to it, stuff like that. It's really, really cool. My exclusive ones lately, though, is from Rocky Mountain Slides. Todd Sigma. Very nice man. I had hooked up with him, and he had sent me some really, really beautiful slides to try, and I've been loving them. And this is like some kind of stone. I'm not sure what kind of stone it is, but if you go on his website, Rocky Mountain Slides, you'll see this. And I've been using this one pretty exclusively. This red one also. I love the way that the red one was. It was like little it's almost like it looks a little like a marble type thing like that going on, which is really, really cool. I love this too. This is really, really great. It's got that kind of sound to it like that. But I have about 50 slides. I have so many of them, you know what I mean? And it's all great. I have like, doubles, triples, whatever. It's really, really cool stuff. But anyway, so getting back to things, we haven't been playing out much. We haven't been doing our stuff because of the whole COVID thing. I hope everybody's staying safe. I'm trying to stay as safe as possible myself by doing some hibernating and quarantining, whatever you want to say it is. And, I've been playing a lot around the house. The only thing is a little depressing, though, because I really know where to play. So as I'm doing this and talking to you people, which is great, so I can get on here and kind of talk for a while, so it feels like I'm performing in a certain sense. But there's nothing for me. I'll play my guitar maybe 15, 20 minutes a day. I'll sit there and I'll jam a little bit. And but I feel so kind of depressed about it when I'm playing. There's really nothing coming out of it. And I'm hoping now with the vaccination and everything like that we can all get back to what's happening if that's what you want to do. I hope that everybody kind of like comes together with, getting this, getting on the ball with this and brings us all back to what we need. And we need to be open again, obviously with all our places, all our great clubs. Like I was saying before, a lot of the club owners that I know and all the people out there that love to come and they support them and they support us as a band, which I love you very much for that, which is really, really great. Getting back to CDs again, I want to show you really quick a couple of things. This is our CDs we had out last year. Last year we had this out, about 2 years ago. This is our Smokehouse Serenade album. And this went to #1 on Blues Radio, actually. And it was there for a little while, and it kind of stayed up in there. And Blues Radio is a funny thing. Blues Radio, if you play on the station once or twice, like you're doing well. It's not like, Elton John on WPLJ way back when you heard, like, Daniel, 300 times a day on the radio, you know what I mean? Like Blues Radio and Jazz Radio ain't like that. They play things, in a little bit of a time. You have like a little bit of a time span to really work it out and get it rolling. And our brand new, probably came out in October. This is the Secrets of the Psychedelta record. And this is a compilation of things I've done for about 25 years with the Psychedelta stuff. Psychedelta was coined by a guy who used to hang around the Electrics. They're good friends of mine. They're a band from here, from Long Island, New York area. And they're a Grateful Dead band. They do a lot of Grateful Dead music, which is great. And when I got off the stage, I played a slide dobro song with them. This is going back about maybe 30 years ago. The guy came up to me and he goes, wow, it's like Psychedelta music. And I said, man, I'm not going to take that. I love the way it sounded. So as we were playing, as we were doing things, I kind of coined it into that whole thing. It's kind of a mix between Louisiana, a little bit of like shuffles, like a Chicago type electric blues, Delta blues, which is like a real acoustic kind of feel to it, kind of like back porch stuff like that. You like that? Another CD I want to show you really quick, and if you're into that whole type of thing like that, the Delta blues, one of my favorites in the world is Mississippi John Hurt. He's right here. Mississippi John Hurt basically um, brought to the forefront a lot of really, really great finger picking people. Yorma is a lot of like Mississippi John Hurt. If you like John Sebastian was a big lover of Mississippi John Hurt. He used to go and watch him all the time at the Gaslight in Greenwich Village and stuff. And he'd sit there on a stage and he'd be kind of figure out like how he's playing and stuff like that and what he's doing. But in 1928, he recorded a bunch of records. They called them sides at the time. It was like one record. It was a two-sided, you know, like old 78s. And by Alan Lomax came into town in Mississippi to a plantation he was working at. And what he did was he took the records, and it was sort of Library of Congress type thing, which is like you can go to the Library of Congress and you can hear these things in these archives. And what happened was, from 1928 until about 1963, 62, 63 at the Newport Folk Festival, they found him, and they brought him to the show. And they had him open up, well, actually, I think Vance Lipscomb, he was another guy. I think he opened the show. But Mississippi John Hurt was on the bill. And he came out to people that knew his music. And you couldn't believe it. He was just this obscure, like I said, he went back in 1928, he went back to just picking cotton all the time. That's all he did every day of his life, pretty much. And it was very fortunate that he lived long enough to see some kind of fame and some kind of adulation to what he did. So, you know, to get thanked for all the beautiful music that he made. Robert Johnson, from about the same time, actually a little bit, maybe about 10 years later than that, like that whole year, he unfortunately he was succumbed to a poison, a jealous bar owner, I think, or juke joint owner that poisoned him. So we lost Robert Johnson a long, long time ago. Anyway, so, but there you go. But there's so many CDs, so much stuff. If you really want to get a little crazy with stuff, you got Django Reinhardt. Django's the unbelievable. My good friend of mine, Steve Adelson, plays the stick. He's a big Django man. And then by the way, the stick, if you've ever seen anybody play one, I know Sly Gerald's plays one. It's pretty much an impossible instrument. I mean, in my mind, it's a stick with a bunch of strings on it. It goes through, and you play with both your hands, kind of like a piano almost. And but anyway, Django played, and Django only had two fingers. He got it burned in a fire in a caravan when he was very, very young, and he learned how to play the guitar with two fingers over the thing. Better than people can play with all their fingers. It's amazing. You know, really, really great stuff. But that's that. The real album that really changed everything, I mean, in my mind, if you want to get back into that stuff again, is this album right here. It's called B.B. King Live at the Regal, 1964, 63. This record is so influential. If you can, I tell you what, you want to be a blues player, you want to be a blues musician, put this on, learn all the riffs, and you'll be a blues player. This is the whole thing. Every blues player knows this record. Every great, famous rock and roll blues player knows this record, from Eric Clapton to whoever. This is the album. This is the one. When you hear it. When I was young, I must have been about 11 or 12, my brother, I was started playing guitar then, and my brother came in the room and I was playing this album, which everybody knows. You recognize this, Layla. And I was playing Have You Ever Loved a Woman? I was playing along with it. I was trying to learn riffs. My brother said, hold on a second. So he took the album off and he put Live at the Regal on. And when I heard it, I said, wow, it sounds like Eric. And he said, no. Eric sounds like him. You know what I mean? And right then, I got the whole gist of like what it was all about, where the mood was from, what the whole thing about blues was. I mean, there's so much soul in that music, that being a rock and roll player and being a guy playing really, really fast or being, whatever, you're missing the point of it. You know what I mean? Especially in blues, you're missing the point. You have to be, there are some, B.B. King plays one or two notes and the audience on this album, on Live at the Regal, go absolutely insane. You know what I mean? Like they just feel his soul and the way it is. And in the introduction of it says, ladies and gentlemen, the fantastic world's greatest blues singer. And I totally agree. I mean, B.B. King to me is the greatest male blues singer that there pretty much ever was. I know there are really, really great singers out there, but for some reason I just love his timbre. I love what he does. I love how he does it. It's really, really, really great stuff. And, but that's that. I don't know if anybody else is on here. I got to see if I could see Anybody else talking? I can't really see anybody on here. I can see some things, but you can see if I can find this stuff here. You got people there. You got people there. I don't know what's going on. There's only a few on. What do we got here? What do we got? I'm trying to see. Oh, here we go. Bunch of you out there. Hi, Linda. Linda's watching down in Florida. Friend of Riley's. Oh, Riley is. Is Riley out there? Joe Cadell, the compadre from years and years and years, way back in Jake's house. We used to go back there and jam all that stuff, a lot of blue stuff. Very influential. These guys are great. These guys were a little older than I was, Joe and those guys, and they taught me a lot about all that music and turned me on to a lot of things, a lot of great Stone stuff, everything like that. But I'm glad you guys are hanging. That's great. Let's see. Oh, we got a lot of people out there. Let's see who we got. Mr. Dave Banks. Listen, if you ever need your car fixed, go to Dave Banks. That's all I got to say. Dave Banks is the greatest. It really is amazing. What this guy does, it's magic. It's magic. Dave Banks, remember that name. It's on Sunrise Highway in near Lindenhurst. That's all I remember. I don't even know what hell of the states are. But anyway, but there you go. And he's the greatest. Dawn, the other half of the Banks people, the other part of their, what would you say, the bookends. Dawn is a very, 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 very dear friend of ours too, of the band, of myself. Beautiful voice. Always love when she comes up and sings with us, and it's great. And she's done a lot of stuff with us, and really, really, really great. But let's see what else we got here. Trying to get it going. Hold on, everybody. Oh, there's a lot of people out there. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Terry Leach. Terry, I miss you guys big time. I remember you used to come and see us all the time over at Tremay. And she says she can't wait to see us play live again. Let me tell you something. I can't wait to play live for you guys. I really can't. I can't wait to see you guys again and come out there and jam. And that's one thing I'm going to do. It'd be really, really great. But let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. See what we got here. So we'll talk to each other. Hold on. Blue side, hey, baby. Mr. Quinn. Another really, really great student of mine way back when, way back in the Crazy Beans days, jamming on his Martin. Finger stylist extraordinaire, very, very nice, sounding great. But, okay, I'm going to get a little more into this thing. I'm going to do a couple of, let me see if there's any questions out there. If you got any questions, I'll do some questions for you if you want. Let's see any questions, but I'll see. Let's see here. More stuff if you want. If you want to ask a question on there, ask me a question, because I'm getting kind of tongue-tied of what really is happening here and stuff like that. I have a lot of guitars. Okay, I have tons of guitars. I got them all over the house, all over the place. I'm thinking to myself, should I play a song? You guys want to hear one? Bring it up on a thing if you want me to play something for you really quick. If not, I'm not going to do it. But I'll play a song though if you want. I'll play something. I might as well make a little, what did you say? Trying to get this thing here again. Trying to look. I'm not good at this stuff, but I'll see what I can do. Let's see what we got. What kind of open tunings do I like? I love the A tuning. I tune my electric guitar, slide guitar to A because I sing in A a lot. And when I'm doing that, it's kind of a cool thing. I can also play in a lot of different keys, even though it's open tuned, so it's kind of cool. I do that a lot. I love to do, regular tunings are always a really, really great thing. I love doing with fingers. I love doing with picks, all that kind of stuff. So I want to get my guitar really quick. So give me 1 second. I want to disappear. 1 second. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. This is an old guitar from the late 50s, early 60s, actually. Hold on 1 second. Let me just get a tuner over here really quick. And I found this actually very, very cheap for a song, but I realized that this is where the tone is. me 1 second. And I'll step back and let you see it. This is a G tuning. If you're home playing harmonica or you're playing the piano or you're playing whatever, playing your oboe, you can hang out, you can jam with me if you want, which is pretty cool. This is a, I'm gonna use my slide from my buddy over there at the thing here. I'm gonna move back a little bit so you can see. It's kind of tough to do this like this. You'll be able to hear me. All right, here we go. Well, there we go. A little slider roof here. Thank you very much. What that is, that was like a little improv on an open tuning, an open G tuning. And I was kind of going back and forth with that, which is kind of cool. I've not been playing slide a lot lately. I've noticed that I've been kind of sitting around doing a lot of 6-string stuff and doing a lot of little, what would you say, like scales, little woodshedding on scale, stuff like that. Keep my fingers moving, because that's the whole thing, is having like a motor skill. When I'm playing a slide, there's no real motor skill to it. It's more of like it is a little bit, because there are a couple things I do and a couple things I'll show you right now. I want to get a different slide for the next one. Let me see what I can do here really quick. Let's see what we got. That's kind of cool. Kind of cool slide. I'll pull out the mud slide, the black mud slide. But I do some wisps and stuff like that, and I'll show you what that means. This hand here. So I'm hitting a note. I'm hitting one note and I'm going up to the note. That's good. A couple of wrong notes for you. But it's a thing that you kind of get. The hardest part about playing the slide is this hand. Here it looks like it's a right hand because it's backwards. But this is actually I'm sorry, this is my right hand, because I'm getting mixed up when I'm looking at here. But on my right hand, it's the hardest thing because I have to dampen strings as I'm playing. And I'll show you one more time. Here we go. But what I'm doing is, as I'm doing the hand over here, I'm dampening. So I'm holding strings down. And this way you don't hear the strings that are around it. See, so I'm holding those strings like that. And I'm only playing this string, but I'm holding the other ones down. So I'm going. And if I didn't do that, it would sound like this. That's without dampening it. But I use behind my slide too a little bit, so. You see right there. I'm rocking it a little bit for a little bit of a tone, a little bit of a vibrato they call it actually, which is kind of cool. But there you go. Let me see if there's any more questions out there. Let's see what's going on. Let me talk to some people out there. Oh, One more. My friend George Jalecki is out there. Very, very, very dear friend of mine. Very, very, very dear friend. Fisherman extraordinaire, everything like that. And on Montauk Highway in Eastport, he has a stained glass store. And he's just the most talented thing in the world. It's amazing what he does. And he made me a slide out of a wine bottle. He had a wine bottle one day and he said, pick one out. So I put my finger in him and here it was. And here's the wine bottle right here. And I'm going to do something really quick for George and for everybody with the wine bottle he made. And this is it right here. Cool, man. Thank you, George, for that beautiful slide. Let's see what else we got out there. What else is going on in this craziness? Let's see. I'm sarcastic. Eric feels that. We go way back, Eric and myself. Way back to the old Blues Society, everybody. Great photographer. He's a guy that has a couple of shots that I love, that some of my favorites that he took of me. I love him. And he's another fisherman extraordinaire. He's a lake guy. George, I was talking about, George is more of an ocean guy. But Eric is like a lake guy. He loves those largemouth bass and all that stuff. It's great. Him and his brother Todd. I say hello to you guys. Hey guys, how you doing? All right. It's good that you're out there doing this stuff. Where did the slide originate? Snap Sharon. You know something? There's so many conflicting things about it. And they think it might be Hawaii. Something called slack key. Slack key is when you detune a guitar a little bit, kind of like what I'm playing in right now. It's like a G tuning. And what it is they think it might have came from there. The ones from the actual, because a lot of like the Hawaiian sound. So let me give you a Hawaiian sound right now. I'll do it really, really quick. And I'll play it with the metal slide. But here's a little bit of Hawaiian thing going on. They play it on their lap like this, though, when they play Hawaiian. I do Spanish style, so it's like this. But, yeah, it's a little bit of Hawaiian type thing like that. Also, they said that it was, and also the great blues, one of the fathers of blues actually, W.C. Handy, said that he was going on the rail one day, on the railroad in Memphis, and he saw a guy sitting, this is like 90, 98 or something like that. He saw this guy playing on the guitar. It was like a penknife or something like that, going across the strings, making this sound. And he was an educated, kind of a professor of the blues back then, African American person actually, one of the way back when. And what he did was he took that tone or that kind of scale and put it into a couple of songs, the St. Louis blues, the Memphis blues, and he did this stuff, and it's pretty wild actually. It's pretty fun. And but they think that was another origin of it at the same time. And also the old, like the blues men, the drinkers, they're blah, 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 the druggers, that they broke a wine bottle off and they made it like that. And that brings me to this. The one that George had made me also. This also I had gotten made a long time ago. And this is also another wine bottle one too. It's a little like that broken off, but it's all kind of nicely polished on the end, so it won't really cut anybody, so that's pretty cool. Very nice. But I have that, which is very nice. Let's see what else is in. Let's see. Slack guitar, yes, Steve. Explain everything for you, Rosie drinking. My brother Tom is out there. My brother. Love you, man. Okay, I want to give it to you. All the way in Pittsburgh out there. I find that A lot of slide players play on different fingers, okay? That's an interesting thing. I like it on my ring finger, okay? It's very comfortable to me. For some reason, when I'm playing the guitar, it just feels really easy for me to do that like that. Some guys playing that pinky, they have a little smaller slide. They do that, they seem to be able to play chords better behind the slide. I do play chords also behind this with my two fingers though, that's right. And then you have Dickie Betts, who plays it on his middle finger, like that. So does Bonnie Raitt. So does Joe Walsh. They play a slide on their middle finger like that, and they play it like that. Whatever's easy to you. I find though that right here on the third finger is really, really, really easy for me to play. That's me. But there's no better, or it's all comes down to what you're playing. There's no like better way to do it. There's no, it's all how you do things. How you play chords, how you, even the choice of strings that you have. You can use heavy strings, light strings, whatever you get a sound out of. It's what's good for you, at the same time. So it's great. But let me see what else we got here. Johnny Cola, the surf king himself, Mr. Twang, Mr. Reverb. That guy sleeps on reverb. He breathes twang. Okay, he shoots out whammy bars out of his hands. It's unbelievable. John, I'll tell you what. You said that you tried playing slide. Just do it again. Just keep going, and it'll pop in like riding a bike. Once you get that thing like riding a bike, it'll be fine. It'll be great. They'll twang it up. It's really, really cool. Mr. Mark Klein. I want to talk to him about some DJ friends of mine too. Mark Klein of WSB. This man gives so much of himself to everybody out there, and to sick children, everyone. This guy is an amazing, amazing person, and I'm so proud to call him my friend because he's so great at it. And I love his show. His show is on Friday mornings on WSB 90.1. And it's really, really great. I'm glad you're out there, Mark. I'm glad you're hanging with me, man. That's great. And love that stuff. Favorite slide tuning, Richard. My favorite slide tuning is, like I said, I like the G I was just playing. I like that a lot. There's another tuning also, which is great, and also the A. I sing an A. The G and the A tuning is the same fingering pattern when you're playing. It's just that you're tuning it up a whole step. But I love the D tuning and the E tuning also. It's a little more of a real kind of Sunhouse. Sunhouse, another great, before Robert Johnson, really, really great player. And he played a lot of slide on the National steel guitar. And he also plays like more of a D tuning like that, which is amazing. The same thing with Elmore James. Elmore James is like that also. If you want to play slide, you want to jam the stuff, get an Elmore James album, the greatest hits. There's probably about maybe 30 songs on it, and it's all like the same key. It's all like in D. And one song will be like a shuffle. One song will be slow. One song will be like a cha-cha. And it's great because you can sit there and just jam to all these different types of blues the way it feels like that, which is really, really cool. And that brings me to different types of blues, which is really, really great. There's Louisiana blues on our CD, a Smokehouse Serenade. We do a version of Statesboro Blues, which you know from the Allman Brothers, of course. It's Blind Willie McTell did it originally, an acoustic, Piedmonty, Delta-y type of song, very acoustic, very, very advanced. But we do it with a trombone, really, really great piano on it. It was Mark Mancini, I think, did the great piano, great piano player, Mark. I'm sure you've seen him play a lot of times. He's great. And it's a Louisiana feel. Love the Louisiana feel like that. Like I said, there's stuff. There's shuffles. There's Chicago blues stuff. There's Texas blues stuff, struts, all that stuff. And there's so much of it. It's so great out there. What we like to do on our CDs, the Kerry Kearney Band likes to do, is we like to mix them up. So there'll be like one shuffle, one slow blues, one Delta blues, something a little more. Front Porchy, very good friend of ours, plays percussion. Jeff DeMoley plays drums with the Electrics. He did spoons on one of the tunes that we have, and it's such a great exploration of that whole front porch kind of thing like that, or it's all, I mean, it's you can pretty much when you play blues, you can play on anything. You play on a table, you can play on, on a guitar case. I've seen people play on a pizza box. You guys hanging out having a pizza, which we always do. Food is a big part of our gig. The diner, while we're playing, while we're driving, doesn't make a difference what we're doing. When we're sleeping, we're eating. So it's like pizza box. I mean, Mario will get out his brushes, and he'll start doing something on a pizza box, a little stirring on a pizza box. He could do anything like that. It's really, really great. Like blues is such a folk-oriented thing that you all together when you're playing. Like it's really a lot of fun. That's what he did. Steve Scott, what do you think of Derek Trucks? Fantastic. What else can you think? I mean, the guy's, he's a monster. He's he got he was in a family of the whole lineage of the Allman Brothers and that whole thing like that. I mean, as he learned from the best, he was playing right along Dickie, right along Warren Haynes, and I mean, you're getting the best of all that stuff like that, and really getting a good upbringing with it, and going out and doing it yourself, and it's really, really great. Yeah, I love him. He's fantastic. He's, it's one of the greats, ever, pretty much. It's really great. Have I ever got a slide stuck on my finger? Rubbick necked. Let me see. Yes. I love that. Pop. There it is. Let me see what else. We got some more questions out there really, really quick. Richard, yes, I do raise the action when I play slide guitar. This guitar that I have right here, this one I was just playing, it's a little bowed the neck, slightly bowed, and because of that, it has the perfect thing for doing that. I move the bridge in a certain way where the intonation is really good, but I press down a little bit on a note. But yeah, I mean, it has the it definitely a little higher. It's really good. My Les guitar too. I also find that a heavy string and a heavy slide go together great, and a little sustain if you got it on the amp. That goes really good with a little heavy strings. It's perfect. If you got light strings, a lighter slide is better, like that, kind of like the Charlie Daniels type of thing. He plays guitar, he'll grab his slide out and start doing stuff on his tens or whatever he's got on the slide. And it's pretty low on his action he's playing, so. But a very, very, very light slide, and that's probably the best thing to do like that. That's the best way to go. But, what else? Songwriting approach, very interesting. I find that I used to have two little recorders with the little mini cassettes in them. I used to have one in my house and one in my car. And what I do is I'd be walking around. I'm always like humming something even when I'm sleeping, I'm humming. So it's like I'm humming like a little riff, and what I'll do is I'll put it onto the cassette, and I'll look at it a couple of months. If I'm not making a CD record right away, I'll look at a couple of months down the line. I'll look at listen to it. I'll check it out, and I'll have some riffs down like that. But I'll do is I'll put the words in later on. I mean, there's so many ways of, some people like Elton John would, and Bernie Taupin, Elton would have music, and Bernie would have, words, and he'd give it to him, and Elton would put the music to the words. I find that kind of a hard process. Obviously these guys are like, master songwriters like that. I'm just a blues songwriter in a lot of ways. I do write some folk stuff too, but it's very, very simple in a lot of ways. But I find that it's like with the old story about Paul McCartney. When he went to sleep one night, he dreamt this melody, and it went da 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 da. Yesterday, and so when he was eating in the morning, he was saying scrambled eggs da 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 da. So it's like he actually obviously puts the words in later on, but that's a true story about that. How he did that like that. How he throw in. That's why a lot of people do parodies. They can just take the music and just throw in words to it. It's simple like that, But I find that writing music first, and then putting it in later on is good. I also have a concept of that if I took 3 months to write a song, words, or if I took 5 minutes to write words, like would it really make that much difference? In a lot of ways, I feel it's kind of a hard way to talk about this, to explain this. But I feel that people read into anything that you're playing anyway. People read into music, they read into things that you're writing. They kind of feel like, that must be in this, that must be in that. And what we did with Smokehouse Serenade, the songs were written right when they were recorded. They were just, the words were like put down really quick right there. Have like a kind of a concept, I guess you'd say you do it like that. But I find it's good like that. But people will say to me, does that mean da 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 da? And I'll say, really mean anything. It just means, it just kind of rhymes good. I mean, words rhyme nice. That's like Paul Simon doing Mrs. Robinson when he put in, "Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? Our nation turns its lonely idea." He liked the idea of Joe DiMaggio, went with the meter. "Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio?" And it worked great. You could put somebody else's name in there at the same time. It would have worked. But he finds that he didn't really do it purposely. It wasn't like he was, I'm sure he was a Yankee fan, but it wasn't like he did it he did it because he liked the way the meter was as he was writing it. So it's kind of interesting like that. But that stuff there. Who else we got out there? There we go. Terry, I about the Rory Gallagher stuff. If you go onto YouTube and look up Kerry Kearney at the Iridium, I did a Rory Gallagher tribute one time, and I did one of his tunes. It wasn't an acoustic song though; it was an electric song, and it's on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it is, and you'll see the tune I'm doing like that. Let me see what else I got here. The first song I learned on slide was a song called TV Mama, and it's by Johnny Winter. It's on Still Got the Blues album with Muddy Waters, and it's a really, really great. It's in a G tuning, and he plays it on his metal, beautiful tricone slide he has, the Style 4, whatever, and it really. And that right there is great. It was everything you needed. Actually, in that one song, I learned like all the riffs I could learn, because that's all pretty much you needed to do, and I kind of put my own little spin on it. But that was one of the first tunes. That was a while ago. I've been playing slide about 45 years, maybe. Maybe 15 or 16. I started playing. One day I just loved the way it sounded. I loved the way the whole thing about it just kind of felt kind of like almost like a voice, kind of sliding around like that. It's really, really cool. A lot of people weren't doing it either. Like some friends of mine do it great. Jimmy Bennett, I don't know if he's out there. Jimmy Bennett's really, really great slide player. He's been playing slide a long time. And he's one of the few people I knew that actually did it. And he did it very, very well. He still does it really great. He's got a great, great band, the Bennett Brothers. And, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you about some guitar players that I love. I think I talked about them before already. But there's so many of them out there, so many millions. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I could be here for 3 weeks doing this, you know what I mean? Talking about guitar players. But everybody from like Gordon Lightfoot to James Taylor. I mean, I love folky people too. It's unbelievable. Tom Paxton. I mean, Ricky Skaggs is a great player in a bluegrass way. Tony Rice. Clarence White, who was a bluegrass player, who actually played this on a guitar. He had this little contraption that went with the neck, with the strap on the neck. And what it would do is when he moved the neck, it would move his B string up and down, so it sounded like a pedal steel. It was called a Parsons White string bender, and it was just an amazing sound. And if you listen to Sweetheart of the Rodeo, that's the first. It's 1968. It's the Byrds. The Byrds were like, obviously they were like a first electric folk rock 12-string band in a lot of ways, you'd say, like back in like 63, 64. But if you listen to the Byrds in 68, they took a little different turn. They went a little more country, and it was an amazing, amazing thing. And the funny thing is, like, I think real country people didn't really, understand it or dig it too much. It was like a bunch of hippies playing country music. And then country radio didn't want to play them because of that, and then rock radio didn't want to play them because they were too country. It's one of those things, it's kind of a thing you're kind of caught in the middle of. Like, you don't really know what to do with it, kind of like Poco. I always loved Poco. They never really had a number one song, I think, till like way, way, way later. But to me, they were just such a great country rock band. I loved the harmonies, the whole thing, the whole Eagles type thing, the whole stuff like that was great. The Flying Burrito Brothers is another band that was great like that. The New Riders of Purple Sage with the pedal steel, with also the Burrito Brothers was like that. It was amazing. And it's just really, but anyway, but that's the, getting into different, great, great bands I love like that. That's really great stuff. Simon and Garfunkel, of course. My brother's a big Simon and Garfunkel fan. I got to play with Keithy 2 summers ago, down here at the Sugar Bowl in my hometown, Breezy. And he came down and we did a bunch of stuff, a bunch of Paul Simon stuff we played. It was fun, and our own stuff. And he really, really great player too, Keithy Marlowe. Really, really, if you ever see him out there, just give him a shout. Give him a holler. He's really, really great. I hope he's doing good. I'm really digging him. Raikuda, of course, Joe Cannell. Raikuda, which is another really, really great player too. Really, really great stuff. Um, I love Lowell George. You know, there's a video of Little Feet sitting around a table, and I think it's like either a Dutch somebody doing a interview with them, maybe someplace like in Amsterdam or something like that. And they're sitting around, and he starts playing the slide on his Stratocaster, and they all sing with him like this gospel song. And it's amazing how talent is so you don't need much coming into making something happen if you have talent that just oozes from you. And Lowell George and the band, it just oozes. It's just amazing how it sounds. It's like they're just sitting around jamming, like they're sitting around your house, you know, having a couple of beers or something like that. It was so good. It was so amazing. And but of course, Blind Willie Johnson. Blind Willie Johnson sounds. If you ever watch Little Rascals, the second incarnation with Froggy and those guys, and Alfalfa and Spanky are a little bit older, and Froggy has that really deep voice. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not saying anything funny, trying to make a joke out of this, but Blind Willie Johnson sounds like that when he's singing. He has that voice that has that kind of tone. It's amazing. But his slide playing is just unbelievable. It's just really, really great. Like I said, there again, it's this beautiful outpouring of talent. It's one guy by himself. His wife also sings with him too. She sings like, you know, she sings harmony with him, and a lot of it's gospel, a lot of it's from the church, a lot of it's from the thing that he's doing. But Blind Willie Johnson, check him out. You know, Blind Willie Tell, of course, that kind of stuff. Robert Johnson, all those guys. You know, it's all some amazing stuff. Blind Blake. I said Willie Tell. There's so many great players out there. Really amazing. Mississippi John Harry talked about already. Who's the other one? Again, I'm trying to think of it. Reverend Gary Davis, of course. Reverend Gary Davis, unbelievable. Reverend Gary Davis was supposed to be blind, but he wasn't fully blind. And he would do something where he would go outside and he says, listen, you know, put your money down. I'll tell you what kind of engine is and what kind of car that is. And really he could see a little bit. So when they started the car, he'd tell them what kind of car it was, even though, you know, he could actually sing. You know, he could actually see it. It's pretty wild. But that's kind of stuff. Let's see what we got there. Leo Kaki. Oh my God, Leo. Fantastic. I saw him in Carnegie Hall opening up the Taj Mahal about 40-something years ago. My brother Tom. And we were like right in the front row. And it was just amazing. He always amazes me. I've seen him, you know, lately and, you know, more contemporarily. And I love him too. Very, very unique individual. Very unique stuff. Love the individual players like that. They're just like the best. You know what I mean? Subdudes too. Subdudes, Steve. Love Subdudes. Great stuff. You know, it's just so many. You know, I love when they pull us. You know, like I said, we do with the slide stuff, and I love when people bring the slide out and they do that. It's really, it kind of, you know, breaks it up a little bit. Brings that little Louisiana, that little funky, swampy thing to what's going on, which is really, really great. There you go. I'll try to see some more questions here really quick. Let's see what we got. Try to get over here. Hello, there we go. All right, so anyway, so I guess we're almost at our time here. I don't know what time it's going to be. I know we're hanging out with everybody, you know, in this snowy thing. I just want to wish everybody a healthy, good year this year, a loving year, something we can all look forward to, and to be back in music again, be out eating again in places, and, you know, I hope that everybody gets back in their work order, and I hope that we don't see many more places close, and everybody gets healthy, hopefully. And I'm so sad to see so many things happening lately, and everything's kind of hitting home really, really close to things that which are really, really bad. But I hope that everybody I pray every day that everything's going to be great. And I pray for all you people are beautiful. And so I'm so glad that you always come to see us and support us. You've done it all these years, and we hope to keep going, and hopefully we're going to be out there soon promoting our albums. We're gonna make a new CD. We're supposed to like at the end of February into March, but the way things are going, I don't see it happening yet. We're hoping that it's going to be pretty, pretty soon, but it's going to take a little while. And I want to thank all those people at the studio too and stuff like that over in Echo Studios, which is great. Like I said too, all my DJ friends, Jerry Schaefer, just at the Fox, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's like there's so many things I could say, and I would have like weeks to explain like how beautiful and great these people are. Kenny Hahn, always doing great stuff over there. He's got his blues show on Tuesdays at WSB. He's great. Gavin Melton, I mean, we play at this place over in Fly Island every year, and we didn't do it last year, but I look forward to it so much. We do it at the beginning of the summer and the end of summer, and you all got to come over with us. I mean, you all got to come over on the ferry. We have a great time. We all kind of take over the whole place. It's really it's unbelievable the time. That's great like that too. And Kevin Gavorik, thank you so much. You were always great with your stuff. Fantastic. There's like so many people. I just can't. I got to think of all these people that help. Mario Stiano, he's on the air. He does his show on Mondays on WSB, and he has his radio show. And I remember him telling me that it all doesn't happen out of thin air. What you do and what we do. You know what I mean? I mean, we practice all so much, and we dedicate ourselves to this whole situation of being artists and stuff like that. But when it's out there and people get to hear it, like yourselves and that kind of stuff, it's put there by people that are really very, very close to us and very, dear friends and dear, people that are genuine about liking what we do and this and that. And I love them also dearly because of it. And it's, Dennis McNamara. I mean, he came to me, a while back. We were doing a thing for Sandy. We were raising money for Sandy for some people, and he came to me and said, "I'd love to come and help you with that. I'd love to be the MC." And he did. This great, one of the greatest, famous, I should say, radio personalities of New York ever. You know what I mean? And he came to our help, and I love him very much for that. And I saw him recently, and it was a lot of fun over at the warehouse. We did a thing at the warehouse. That was a lot of fun. It was a live broadcast, and that was great. But anyway, so I'm gonna leave you guys with a song. What the heck? I'll just do another one. Let me pop one in here somewhere. A little slide around. All right, I'll play my Rocky Mountain slide again. Let's see what we got. Come on. Here he goes. Woohoo! Thank you to Long Island Blues Society. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for having me. They have the series every couple of weeks, I'm sure, and it's great. And you can see it right here. And thank you again so much again. I'll see you guys all soon, and keep on rocking. Mwah!